Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Kerry and I love all things makeup and beauty related, especially eyeshadow palettes with an absolute passion. I love my collection. I do have a 3-hour palette collection video. If you're interested in seeing them all, it has been slightly updated since then and I have added to it, so that will be in not next year's, that's this year's, isn't it? I have to do another one this year. Anyway, today's video is going to be 10 random palettes that I picked out of my collection, and I'm going to discuss whether I would repurchase if for some reason they weren't in my collection anymore, if they were stolen, if they were damaged, if they were just missing. I'm hoping that I've chosen palettes that I haven't chosen before. I think I've done 2 of these videos before and done 10 palettes each time. I've tried to avoid the palettes that I've already picked and just tried to pick randomly from my collection. So please stick around, and if you're interested in these types of videos, don't forget to subscribe. This look that I'm wearing now will be over on my Instagram with all of the products linked for you. We're just going to dive straight in. I don't want this to be a super long video. I just want to talk about some of the palettes in my collection. So we've got first a Beauty Bay palette. This is a collaboration with Coralie. I still don't know if I'm saying that right. I did do a video on this and the other one that she brought out in collaboration with Beauty Bay. Now, if you've been on this channel before, you know I absolutely love Beauty Bay eyeshadows. I think they are really, really good quality for the price. Like, the mattes are blendable and extremely pigmented, kind of buildable. Sorry about that. Kind of buildable to an extent. The shimmers sometimes are a little bit putty-like, so it depends on your personal preference, but I personally really like Beauty Bay. I do pick up a lot of their shadows, so I had to pick up this one. Like I say, this is one of the 2. This is actually called, is it Douche Romance? Douche Romance? I'm not great at French. This is the colour story inside. Like I say, I have got a video on this if you want to see the swatches and an eye look that I did with this. Did I do a separate look with both of the palettes? I can't actually remember. So here we've got 8 shades. 2 of them are shimmer shades. We've got a nice sparkly pink and a nice sparkly blue. We have depth in this palette. We do have a lighter pink tone here. It's a nice palette. It is exactly what I expected from Beauty Bay. Quality wise, it's got a mirror. They have released a few palettes like this in this size and shape before, so it's nice to see this size and shape again because we don't often get the smaller palettes from Beauty Bay and I actually kind of like those. The colour story though, the way that this is put together, I'm not sure that it's my absolute favourite for me personally. So would I repurchase this one? Probably not. Can't actually remember how much these are, but I know they're on the more affordable side. Like I say, if you want to know anything about it, please do check out that video. Then I've got the BH Cosmetics Lunar New Year palette. I think this is the last palette that they released, or one of the last, before they were bought out by Makeup Revolution. So I really wanted to pick this one up because I thought it looks super nice. I like the packaging of this. I like the shape. It's super thin. And the colour story inside, like, I like bright, vibrant, pigmented colours. And of course this colour story is full of colours. So we do have 1, 2, 3-ish neutral shades. We do have a black, we have midtones, we have depth, we have some beautiful looking shimmers. I can't remember if there's more than one shimmer formula in this or not. Just by looking, I'd say there is. Some look more satiny and some look more special than others. This one looks super nice, called Bling. It's got a bit of a different reflect to it. It's orange, but oh, that's pretty. That is super. I may need to use this palette again. Actually, when I picked this out of my collection and I was just looking at it now, I was thinking, would I really buy that again? But actually, I remember really liking the quality of this one. BH can be hit or miss, and I feel like this one was nice. It's not the best quality in the entire world, but I feel like this one is quite a nice one, and I do like the colour story because we've got sort of the like limey green chartreusey shades. Like I say, we do have a black for the depth. We do have some nice red tones, warm leaning tone. Would I repurchase this? Oh, this is really difficult. Okay, I'm going to go with no, just because as much as I like the colour story and the quality is nice, I do have so many things in my collection that I could use instead, or that is better quality than this palette. But that makes me sad to say, but yeah, I don't think I've repurchased that one. Kerry, why do you swatch things when you know then you're going to have to get your wipes out and everything gets messy? Then we've got a ColourPop palette. Please bear in mind, the top that I'm wearing today, Tatooine, this is the Star Wars collaboration palette with ColourPop, and I got this whole collection because I recently, I don't even know how long it's been now, I actually fell in love with Star Wars. I hated it with a passion because I was forced to watch it as a child by my dad. He absolutely loved Star Wars, but I watched one of the worst ones, and I think that's The Phantom Menace. I'm not so keen on The Phantom Menace, but actually since rewatching them, A New Hope is like one of my favourites. Anyway, I digress. This palette, obviously collaboration. Look at the artwork inside. I think you can tell what I'm going to be saying about this one, whether I would keep it or not. Like, this classic Star Wars, I have this actually on a t-shirt, absolutely love it. The colour story I think fits very nicely. Like, there are quite a few neutrals in there for me when I'm thinking of it just as an eyeshadow palette, but do I think it fits with the Star Wars theme? Absolutely. There is a lot of beige and brown in Star Wars in general. I like that we've got a black, we have some super shock shades in this, we have some marbled shades, I like the red and the blue. It's really actually good ColourPop quality. It's one of their better palettes, and of course it's Star Wars, so I would be 1,000,000% repurchasing this. Okay, then I'm going to do the next two at the same time and you will see why. They are both from Glamlite and they are the Scooby-Doo collab palettes. These were super affordable for Glamlite, but the shipping, I think, cost more than both of the palettes to get to me, and the customer service was diabolical. So I'm going to be taking that into consideration when talking about these. I do have a video on these palettes if you want swatches, close-ups, and the eye look. So we've got the Creeps and Crawls palette, which the soft touch packaging is lovely and the artwork is just beautiful. Inside, I was saying I'm really upset that they did one of these stupid sheets with just numbers on, rather than actually putting names on the shades. That was a little bit upsetting. Love the colour story. I like that we've got mattes along the bottom, shimmers along the top. These shimmers are actually some of the best I've seen from Glamlite. Like, Glamlite's got a nice shimmer formula anyway, but these are super... I'm gonna have to swatch. I don't learn from my past mistakes, evidently, but these shimmers in here are absolutely gorgeous. I do feel like they're all on the deeper side though, which is a bit of a shame. They're not super duper light, particularly like for my inner corner. I think the mattes are really nice. The quality is good, but like I say, missing the names, and the customer service is trash. Let me put the number sheet back in. Then the next one is the Rutro Raggy palette, and this one is a little bit more my colour story just because it includes some like green tones. Well, is this a green? It's sort of a limey, chartreusey, beautiful tone. The shimmer selection in here I think is more varied, so I prefer this one slightly to this one. Again, really nice soft touch packaging with the lovely artwork on it. Again, no names, and a stupid sheet thing. But again, really beautiful, beautiful quality from Glamlite and super affordable if you're living in the US. I absolutely loved working with this palette. I like the colour story. Like I say, I think the shimmer selection in this one is definitely better. But would I repurchase them? Now, I love Scooby-Doo. Like, if you've watched my channel a lot, you will know I'm a sucker for a collab. If there's a collab that I like, I'm going to be picking it up. And Scooby-Doo, I used to watch it, and then I watched it again with my daughter when they brought out the new Crystal Cove series. Really, really like it. Yes, I would, but not from Glamlite. I would buy them from Monolith if they had them, or Beauty Boxes by Tammy. Yeah, that's what it's called, isn't it? I always get confused which way around that is. Not directly from Glamlite, because like I say, their customer service is shocking. So if I could get my hands on them from somewhere else, then yes, I would repurchase. Then we've got one of my favourite indie brands. I love indie brands, especially smaller indie brands, more unique indie brands. Nomad Cosmetics, Hudson Valley palette. I didn't know if I was going to like this as much as some of their others just because of the colour story, because the quality from Nomad is usually absolutely fantastic. The mattes are just one of my favourite formulas. The shimmers are beautiful, and in this palette, I looked at it when it first launched and I was like, it's a nice colour story. It's still quite colourful considering when you first glance at it, you could just mistake it as a neutral palette. There are definitely dramatic looks to be had with this, and that is what I'm all about, the dramatic looks. So the cool tone side, the warmer tone side, and the three shimmers in the middle. Love the way that this is laid out, love the theming of it all. Nomad based their palettes on destination, so that's why this one is Hudson Valley. Like, the quality of the packaging, just the quality of everything, and the customer service is amazing from Nomad. I've not heard anybody say anything bad about Nomad customer service. I absolutely love this palette. It is so pigmented, buildable, blendable, it's gorgeous. And considering it's not my typical colour story that I would gravitate towards, I would really be missing this if it wasn't in my collection, so 1,000,000% I would repurchase. I didn't realise I picked out another Glamlite palette. This is the Barbie palette, the Dream Summer palette, and I was actually gifted this by a lovely friend. She knew that I really wanted it, but I didn't want to actually order from Glamlite because, like I say, the shipping extortionate as well, and she didn't really want it in her collection anymore, and she very kindly gifted it to me. And the reason that I wanted this one is because this colour story just tickles my pickle. That is the only way I can describe it. Like, it is so beautiful to look at, the way that they're laid out in the different rows, columns, so you can kind of keep it a little bit monochromatic, apart from this random pink. I've just noticed that. Are them two not supposed to be the other way around? No? I'm very confused. Anyway, moving on. This is a stunning palette. This is probably my favourite palette from Glamlite that I own. The colour story is just magic, and it's not your just typical Barbie of just bright pinks. Like, you do have your pinks there, but the purple tones, the blue, the teal row, the mustardy, I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Love this palette to absolute death. Yes, I would repurchase this, and yes, maybe even from Glamlite's website. Then we have the Urban Decay Wild Greens, which I renamed in my video Mild Greens, because Wild Greens to me is not what is included in this palette. Now, the packaging of this, loving it, Urban Decay. Yes, we want more things like this. Some people are going to hate this, but I love it. And it's magnetic, and the way it opens, like so. Like, the colour story inside, okay, I'm not going to lie, half of why I wanted this was the packaging, but the colour story inside, although heavily neutral, does have greens, and I love green eyeshadow, and I think a green paired with a neutral is beautiful. I like this more than I thought I was going to when I tried it, and I was hoping the greens would be a little bit more vibrant. Like, the green shades are called like kale, super greens, so I can see what they were going for, but to call it wild greens and this is your greens was a little bit disappointing. However, the quality I really did enjoy, and I did make a really nice look that I was really happy with this palette, but would I repurchase it? No. Then we have the Glaminatrix Cosmetics Nocturnal palette. This is another indie brand, but they are based in Australia. So again, shipping, very expensive. The packaging of this one is beautiful. I don't know if it's like a faux leather type of situation going on. It's green. And then on the inside, the colour story of this, I couldn't say no. Absolutely beautiful colour story. Love the way that this is curated, and we do have how many shimmers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shimmers, and the rest are mattes. We do have depth, we have some lighter shades and some more mid-tones. There's a lot of grunge to this, which makes my little grungy heart very, very happy. The shimmers are meant to be, I don't know if they're supposed to be actually multi-chromes or duochromes. I don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe there was supposed to be multi-chromes, but I don't think the shift is super duper strong, especially on the eye. It's a funny formula, and I know that Glaminatrix did reformulate this specific palette 2 or 3 times because the shimmers were just not up to scratch. So when the first lot of PR went out to people that were getting it before launch, a lot of people that were reviewing it said that they'd either got broken shades, they were too softly pressed, it wasn't the right sort of texture to stay on the lid, it was breaking up. So before the launch, Glaminatrix actually changed the formula, which, amazing, you've listened, that's brilliant. But still, even with this, these are not my favourite formulas to work with for shimmers or duochromes / multi-chromes. They're very difficult to work with, they're very flaky, I don't think that they last very well, they're too emollient for me. It was just a little bit of a disappointment, and the mattes are nice, but they're on the drier side. considering the price including shipping, I don't think I would repurchase. And then last but not least, we have another indie brand. This is Unearthly Cosmetics, but this packaging says Alien Cosmetics because they did have a name change. This is the Smells Like Holiday Spirit palette. This was part of a Christmas collection that they released, I believe. I got the whole box and it came with, was it lip glosses? I feel like it was lip glosses. And there was other, I'm sure there was something else that I can't remember. But this palette, like, I love the artwork for a start. I really, really like this from Unearthly. Unearthly are a little bit more obscure, which is why I like them. I like their colour stories. Usually I like their formula. I don't think they're the most consistent with formula. I like the fact that they had huge pans. They are changing that, unfortunately, so that there's going to be smaller pans in palettes in the future. This one does have magnetised pans as well, so you can pop the shades out and move them around or switch them with the other palettes that you may have bought that are the same size. And I will say, as much as I love this palette and this colour story because it is so random, bright, I feel like I look at this and I can see so many combinations. The actual tartan, I like the fact it's tartan here, but to have it here with white writing, like, I don't even know if you can see. Like, I can't read that writing. I don't know what these shades are called. That is sending my eyes real funny, but we do have a nice big mirror. The packaging is really nice quality. Like I say, I like the big pan sizes. It's a shame that the deepest shade in this is a brown because I'm not the biggest lover of browns. And some people will look at this and just be like, that is a jumbled colour story. I don't know what to do with it, but I like a challenge and I like it when a palette comes to me like this. That doesn't really faze me. The more I get into makeup, the more I like something like this. And they are very, very pigmented. This is a good quality palette. Like I say, not every palette from Unearthly I feel like is exactly the same quality, but I really do rate this one. And yes, I would repurchase. So out of all these 10 palettes, I'm keeping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would be repurchasing 6 of them if they disappeared from my collection, and the other 4 would be leaving. I'm really, really hoping that I haven't included any of these palettes in this type of video before. You will have to let me know if I have messed that one up. I will try and remember to link the other 2 videos where I am doing this kind of thing. I was going to say ranking. It's not really a ranking, it's more of a deciding. The deciding videos I shall try and link. You didn't tell me I've got like a real big bit of fallout here and I've had it this whole time. Like, I thought we were friends, guys. Like, why wouldn't you tell me that? So guys, please do let me know your thoughts on my decisions. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there any palettes that you were thinking of picking up? Anything you wished you had have bought? That type of thing. Let's have a chat about these 10 palettes in the comments. I love to watch these videos myself. So if you have any recommendations for people that have also done these, I do know that, who else did them? I know Batty Bean does these videos. Does Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner, she may have been the one that started it. I'm sure I've seen Angelica Neekvist do this before. I know there's quite a few influencers that do these types of videos. I love to watch them. I think they're just so interesting and fun, and it's a nice way to look back at your collection and dig out some of your older palettes and actually remind yourself of what you actually want to use and possibly declutter in the future. I'm not the best at decluttering, I'm a bit of a hoarder. Thank you so much for checking out this video, guys, and thank you for everyone that watches till the very end. I will have all my socials linked down below, as well as my Patreon group and my YouTube membership, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!